coaching so that we can talk about it. So Rod, I'll invite you to turn your camera on.
Hey Ed, how you doing?
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you for joining us today. And I wanted to also thank you for being my mentor coach as I went through my coaching certification with Essentials. It was a great experience.
Yeah, right on. Well, thank you for that. And I appreciate that. One thing I just want to acknowledge, I appreciate not only the vulnerability it takes to step up and be coached in front of a bunch of people, but secondly, is you're lending your credibility to me as the one who has the relationship with the people who are attending, as the president and CEO of CPHR. So thank you for your willingness to lend that to me. I take that as a gift, and I trust you're going to make me look good in the coaching because of that.
Well, we'll do our best, Dave. We'll just do this amongst a couple hundred of our best friends. How does that sound?
Yeah. And again, we haven't talked about what we're going to coach on, so this is just real. I'll figure it out in a second. Yep. One thing I just wanted to ask is, what do you want people to know about you? They know a bit about you, but what else is important?
Oh man, that's a great question. I guess I bring my full self to my work and to the things that I do for the organization, but also for the things I do in my life and my family and everything. And so I want them to know that what they're seeing today is me. It's really me. It's who I am as an individual. It's who I am as a leader and who I am as a friend and a colleague. So what they're going to see today is just an opportunity to see some real live coaching of someone who just, like everybody else, struggles with things and wants to find some clarity on what that could be for them going forward. So I'll leave it there, Ed.
Great. Thank you. And what a gift. Appreciate you being willing to do that and demonstrate coaching with us today. As you know, coaching is often confidential. So I do want to kind of make a comment about that, is it's not so confidential with a few hundred people watching. And we are recording this. We may make available in a public domain later. And again, you have the right of refusal on that, but just wanted to acknowledge that this is not a confidential conversation like coaching normally is. And you're bringing something that's going to be out in the public space. And so, and I know that you're okay with that because we talked about that early, but just wanted to acknowledge that.
You bet.
Okay. So I'm just going to set my watch so that we have 15 minutes that we're going to demonstrate this coaching on. Okay. I'm going to be looking down, writing notes. That's what I do in coaching. So just so you know. Okay. And want to ask you, start with you. What was it that you wanted to get coached on today?
Yeah, so I've spent a bit of time kind of reflecting this, knowing that this was coming here, and it did come across pretty fast as I look at the weeks that have gone by. I'm in a bit of I would say a bit of a reflective mood for what we've gone through in 2020, both personally and professionally, and in that reflection, I'm thinking about what 2021 is going to look like, and it's hard because of what has kind of transpired through 2020 and the dynamics of that environment and the constant changes, and talking to people about how tired they are and how fatiguing this has been, and really at a time of just thinking, my biggest hope for me as an individual is to take some time over the holidays and rest up and be ready for what will be another great year for our association, and to be there as a leader for my team, and to be there for my family, and to do all those kind of things that are important to me to do. So what I'm really dealing with, I think, that I want to begin to talk about, and I know we're not going to come to necessarily an endpoint today, but what I really want to talk about is how can I move forward and begin to define my path in an environment of complete, utter ambiguity. I look back in my professional career, and I don't think there ever was a time where there was this much ambiguity in my professional life. And so I'm thinking about because I want to bring the best of me to the organization that I lead. And I recall a statement I made at our conference back in September, which was, in order to lead well, we as leaders must be well. And so for me, what's the foundational focus is, how do I lead well, be well in an environment that is somewhat ambiguous, and trying to figure out what does the path of that look like going forward, and what can I do today to own that, to begin to put that in place and start those small steps into 2021, and look at it as really an opportunity to grow professionally and personally, but also as an opportunity to lead even better the organization that I get the privilege to lead. So that's kind of where my my thoughts have been over the last few days as we thought about moving this forward into the space.
Mm. Yeah, thanks for offering something that I know, I mean, I can relate to. I know a lot of other people can, all the ambiguity. What would you like to be able to walk away with from our conversation?
Yeah, I certainly don't. I don't want an endpoint because I don't think I'm even there yet in terms of what it would look like. But I think I want maybe a little bit of clarity as to what are the next steps that I can begin to take that begin to, I guess, use the word gel. So what not even firming it up. It's to me like this bowl of Jello that you're starting to kind of work with, and an hour or two later, it's in your fridge ready to eat or whatever it is. I haven't had Jello forever, but I see that kind of solidifying, but also some flexibility, right? Of yeah, here's what I want to do, but I've got to be flexible in doing it because I'm not sure what the environment is gonna be like. So I don't know if that kind of helps from a metaphor perspective, but I don't know why Jello came up, but it just did.
Okay. Well, we'll see how that shapes the conversation. Clarity with next steps. What's getting in your way of having that right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. To be honest, I feel somewhat, I would use the word stuck, stuck in thought, stuck in trying to deal with all the different aspects of what this is to move it forward. And it kind of feels like, it feels muddy. It's like I'm walking through mud and I'm trying to just try to continue to get ahead. And that's why it's so important for me to do this now, because I know that what that is telling me is that I need, like everybody does, a break from what this has been so that I can kind of relook and recharge and revive. So I guess just trying to figure out how to get out of the mud and kind of get on the dry path and begin to walk whatever that path may be, not knowing exactly what it was or what it is.
Mm. Well, and you talked about needing a break, and I imagine that's connected to this. And I'm wondering, with what you want to get from today, how is that related to the need for a break for you?
I think the first thing that comes up is the permission to actually take a break.
Mm.
The last 9 months has been leading and doing lots of great things in the association, working with a fantastic team of people that bring an enormous amount of energy and passion to the work that they do. They make such an impact on our philosophy around members first. But I feel like I need to give myself a permission to really take a break. Shut off the email. Don't go on chats. Just do what those things are important for me to really begin to recharge my batteries with the belief that I'm actually a better leader if I do that. But as the leader and who I am, because I know myself quite well, as do you know me based upon the work that we've done together. That's my biggest struggle and my biggest hurdle is to actually take that break, disconnect, exit for a little while, whatever it looks like, and let things be what they can be during that period. So that to me, it's like I've got to give myself, it's okay to give myself permission to say I'm not going to log on email today, or I'm not going to connect on Teams today. Whatever. It's just I'm going to go serve myself today, whatever that might look like.
So giving yourself permission, is that the value that you like from this conversation?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to be able to say to myself, Rod, it's okay for you to leave today, shut things down. Nothing's going to happen. It's okay to take your flex day and make that flex day your day. It's okay to take that holiday break over the Christmas period to say it's okay to do that. You do not have to connect to the business, to the operations, or necessarily to the people. You can actually take a break.
Hmm. So where would you like to explore that further?
My flex day tomorrow. Which is already booked up with some calendar meetings. So I'm not doing too well.
Okay, strike.
And I told you authentic and vulnerable here. So yeah, I've had a couple things come in that required me and my focus, and I said, well, I'll do it on my flex day.
What needs to happen in you for you to embrace that permission?
I think, yeah, what comes up is that I absolutely trust my team to do the work. I trust them implicitly to do the work. I don't trust myself to give up that trust to the team. If one was to kind of look at it and say that's what it kind of gels up for me, is I feel as though I have to be connected. I serve a lot of people. I have a great staff, as I said, but I also serve a community, right? And I have a community of just about 6,000 members who can reach out and email and connect with me. And I'm a connector, as you know, so that is part of what I do. And it's okay to not necessarily have to, make that connection happen right away. But I think what really comes out for me in this conversation right now is I trust my team implicitly to lead the work that needs to be done. They're all great at what they do. But I think where there's a fault is me not trusting myself to trust them. If that makes any sense.
It does. And question that if you're not comfortable saying out loud, that's okay, but I want to ask it anyways. What is the belief that is connected to that needs to be rethought?
That's a great question. I grew up in a world where leadership was different than what leadership is today, I think. And there's this old model in my head of having to be there all the time, 24/7, having to direct when needed, all those things. But that's not the leader that I've become. That's a remnant of what I think I used to be as a leader. And if you were to talk to my lovely wife, who also happens to be a coach, there has been a lot of growth just even in the conversations I've had with her around leading into the future. And so I think I need to give up some of that old style leadership that just really allows and what I want to be sure of, and then maybe this is what I have to do, is have some really authentic conversations with my team on this, is does how I lead get in the way of you doing your best work? And if it does, what can I do as a leader to encourage you to be the best self at work every single day? Like, what do I need to do to support you? Because that to me then becomes leadership. It's like, I want you to come to work engaged, do the best work you can. You do great work serving our members. Do I ever get in the way? And if I do, how? Like, tell me how, so that we can work on that together. I did not know this is going to go down this path. So that's really cool.
Right on. So we have about 5 minutes left, and I want to just hear, because it sounds like you've learned something about yourself. What have you learned about yourself?
A couple things come to mind. So number one for me is I have some old things that still are baggage that I want to work on, that I want to take away and move forward as I think about the future of where we're going as an organization and with my team. And I'm going to be super open and vulnerable with that. And I'm going to talk to my team about that. And I'm gonna ask for them to be transparent back to me, and so that we can work on this together. We've done a lot of great work, but this is an area I think for my own self growth that I want to work on. I've learned a lot about the importance of actually being a very vulnerable leader. I pour into the Dare to Lead stuff and Brene Brown work, and I'm passionate about that work. And I think vulnerability as a leader is probably going to be the most important trait of leadership in the future. And I want to emulate that. I want to be a role model of that, so that my team, my leadership team, can be the same thing, so that they can be as vulnerable as they need to be in their future as leaders.
As you share that, I feel the energy, and I can kind of feel myself being excited about the possibility with that.
Me too. I got it. Yeah. So the clarity for me in this conversation, in the time we actually made a lot of progress, I think, was realizing that there is a little bit of leadership baggage that I carry, which I've worked, as I've worked through my own career, I've worked through, but I don't think I've necessarily worked out. And so in order for me to be that role model leader that I want to be in the future, I've got to like carve off that baggage, work on that, and then put that aside so that not only do I blossom, then the team below me blossoms. I give them space to be, that critical, important leadership team that is so needed in organizations. I give them that opportunity to be that within our organization, which I think is pretty exciting.
Yeah, right on. So I heard you talk about the clarity, getting some of that. You've talked about next steps, which is also what you were looking for. And from my memory, the heart of what we're talking about is giving yourself permission. Where are you at with giving yourself permission for a break?
I'm to get there. I think I need to have some conversations with some people internally, and I need them to see where I'm coming from around this. There's a few of them on the call today, but I think those one-on-one conversations about what I need as a leader to move into this space and what I need from them, because I see it as mutual. It's like we need to work on this together, and so that's one of my thoughts about going forward is I'm going to have that conversation with people and say, here's what I need from you, not necessarily just what you need from me, but here's what I need from you as we go down this path together, because it is a leadership challenge. And when I get that and do that, I believe that permission will naturally come, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So I hear the importance of talking to other people about what you need to hear from them. What is the message you need to give to yourself?
It's absolutely okay to do this.
Okay.
It's absolutely 100% okay to do this.
And what do you do when you waver from belief in that message and you have the doubts that come in and the old way of thinking of being a leader? What do you need to do for yourself at that moment?
Recognize it and give myself permission to continue. Permission to say it's going to come up. This is part of growth, but also permission to say I'm not going to let it define me, and I'm going to use this to move forward. Because at the end of the day, what I truly believe that if I am the best leader to my ability, then I actually bring out the best in my people. And that's really what fundamentally to me, this is all about, is great leaders give space for their people to blossom and be the best that they can be. And if I'm getting in the way of that, then I got a job to do, and I got to be the one that takes it on. But I need my team to help me with that.
Okay. What's going to be a valuable way for us to close our time here that would be meaningful for you?
I think we're there. Honestly, I think we're there. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we made it. Yeah, I think we're there.
Okay. Thank you for stepping up and